Okay, rear drive shaft. They have to go back on the same way they came out. So if you notice, I got a white line here, and I got a white line there. So these lines have to line up when you put it all back together again. So basically we're going to remove these two bolts and a clip. Remove those two bolts and that clip. And then you knock it out of place, and then you just pull it out of here. Not too difficult. So let's see if those bolts budge. Alright, so here we are. We got all the bolts out and the straps off. And I put a little bit of WD-40 in there on both ends. And then I whacked it with a hammer going backwards. So now, if you look, I can pull on it and it'll come out. So it comes out of this. And now, you pull forward. And it'll come out of there, along with some fluid. So that, folks, is how you remove a rear drive shaft. Yum. Time to break out the kitty litter. Okay, so as a last precaution, Ziploc bag and rubber band to prevent contamination and other crap. Bugs are bad. Okay. For the drive shaft, those clips that hold the end on, they should be replaced according to the manual. So those bolts and those clips will get replaced. They're pretty cheap. So here's the drive shaft. This thing spins around and moves stuff for you. So there's the one mark, and if you look there, there's the other mark. So when you put it back on, align those. Down here is a U-joint. Usually these caps will fall right off, but luckily there's enough grime on there to hold them in place. There's another one over here. Oh yeah, there's also fluid in this. Kind of. Well, not anymore, but there was. Okay, so we're going to keep that in a nice, safe place inside the Jeep. And we'll move on to the front. Okay, so here we are at the front of the car. And here's the front. Here's the front axle and differential. And here's the front part of our U-joint. So we got the bolts out and everything, and I tapped it to move it. We also got the white paint marks to align. There's the two old brackets and bolts and stuff. The method that I'm using, I don't have to rotate the drive shaft at all. I just use some funky extensions for the harder to reach ones. So I have this right here, which is a wobble, so it'll move a little bit, give you a little bit of slack. Then I got this pivot right here and another extension, and that seems to get around pretty easily, so I didn't have to rotate this at all. Now there's another side. This goes towards the transfer case. This also needs to be aligned. There's another 4 bolts right there. These are different sizes, and you have to take this off too, and then the front axle will finally remove itself, or at least that's what I'm being told from the manual. You can kind of see the split in between right there. So I'll take those off and let you know what happens. Okay, so this is what we're working with. I got one of the bolts out, but that's on the other side. I disconnected that part of the drive shaft, so that's hanging. And then now I can rotate it to get to each bolt. So that's going to be a pain in the ass. I can't use my my power tools, so they won't fit. So I have to sit here with a stupid little box end wrench and take them off. The differential is obviously a neutral if I can turn it. So yeah, that's a neutral, along with the transmission in neutral. I have the parking brake on, along with stops and other things to keep this thing from rolling. So I'm gonna do that, and I think that'll be it for the night. Okay, so I'll let you know if I get this thing out. Here is the front drive shaft removed. Here's the part towards the back. Yeah. So this was the last piece that I was working on. Oh man, it was a bit of a pain in the ass. I couldn't fit any power tools in there, so I had to do that all by myself. The little tiny 1/2-inch wrench. WD-40. It's your friend. Where's the front half? Over there's all the bolts. The bolts to the left were the ones that came out from the transfer case, and the ones to the right were the ones that came from the front near the differential. Okay, so we have both our white marks so that we know which way it came out and also which way it'll go back in when we install it. So, axles are now removed. It looks a little well done. Ouch. It looks a little empty in there now. Not that much left. So yeah. I think I'm gonna stop for tonight. Well, since I fucked up, I'll show you, I'll give you an opportunity. I'll turn it into something good. I was cleaning off the bearing cap and I accidentally took it off, and all the needle bearings spilled out everywhere. So if you've ever wondered what it looks like in there, it's a bunch of those things. And now I gotta figure out how to either get them back on the wall or get new U-joints. But at least that's in a spot that's easier to get to. Okay, I'm gonna try and put them all back in and not get them dirty. Yay!